Hello and welcome back to my channel again. I'm Teresa and today I'm going to be going into my September curriculum, which is I think a trend that started on TikTok, but I first came across it on Substack and I was seeing people kind of make like their classes for the fall and for September, and so I wanted to do my own. Especially because I just graduated college and I'm not having any actual classes. And for the foreseeable future, I thought it would be just kind of a fun thing to do to make my goals for the fall and the rest of the year into a little curriculum. So let's get into it. I kind of divided it into 5 classes and they go over everything I want to do more of in this fall. So for example, we have Lit 202 and that's going to be my book TBR. We have Film 229, which is going to be my film watch list. Media 313, which is going to be intermediate editing and filming. English 374, which is writing for beginners. And Phys 409, which is my fitness goals. So for Lit 202, my TBR, I feel like I've been in my reading era this whole year, and I've been reading, I think I already hit my reading goal, which was 15 books. With this last book I read, and so I just want to keep up the momentum, keep reading books. I have a couple books I need to finish that I got from the library, but then after that I want to branch out and read more classics, because basically what I enjoy about reading is just kind of escapism. It kind of feels like I'm watching a show, or like I just get really invested in the plot, and so I feel like with romance novels, rom-com, YA, I really feel like those are the books I enjoy. But I also feel like it's so important to just read like classic literature and engaged close reading. So I want to do more of that and kind of just broaden my horizons. So I have a few books on my TBR. I also have my strawberry lemon poppy, so it's exciting. I feel like drinks just taste so much better out of the can. But I do miss having the straw. So I started this book already. As you can see, it's a library book. It's Matt Haig, The Life Impossible. And Matt Haig, I think I'm saying that correctly, he wrote The Midnight Library, and The Midnight Library is one of my favorite books. I've read it twice, one time just for fun, and then I was also taking this psychology class last year where we were required to read it because the class was Psychology of Living, and that book goes a lot into kind of like the philosophical, what makes a fulfilling life, and kind of like disappointment in your past keeping you from living in the future. So I really liked that book. I felt like it was just very compelling. Also, I liked the characters, the main character, and I liked the magical realism element of that. And I feel like I'm just having a hard time getting into this book because it has elements of magical realism, but it feels more like science fiction. And I'm not a huge science fiction person. It also has a beautiful setting. It's in Ibiza, and it's like an older character for the main character that you're following. So I feel like I like all those elements of it, but the magical realism I'm just having a hard time getting into. I'm actually like about halfway through at this point. I'm on page 171 out of like 324, I think. So I just need to keep on pushing through. At this point, I don't think I'm gonna like start liking it more than I have already, just because I'm more than 50% of the way through, I think, at this point, but I think it is just worth finishing it, especially because like I don't dislike it. I'm just not liking it as much as I liked the Midnight Library, so I feel like comparison is kind of keeping me from enjoying it fully. But stay tuned. The next book I want to read is The Brothers Karamazov, which I feel like 3 people close to me have read it and they've all really liked it. So I feel like it's just an essential book that you need to read if you're into classics. So I'm going to be reading that. I don't really know a lot about it, but I know it's like very character driven. And Jane Eyre, I've read that before in like 7th grade, I think, but I was honestly just reading it to like flex. So I don't even remember anything about it. So I'm going to be rereading that and see if I get anything more out of it 10 years later. And then Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I know someone who did a presentation on this book, and I know it's like very contemplative, meditative. All I really know about this book is it was written by a Holocaust survivor, and I know it's very psychological, that has a lot of psychological themes, philosophical themes, so I'm excited to read it and just see what it's about. And yeah, the assignment I wrote for my TBR is just finish books I've started and then try and branch out with some classics. The next course that I registered myself for was Film 229, which is just going to be my watch list of films I've been wanting to watch. I have this bad habit, well, not really, it's not a bad habit, but I kind of hesitate to like watch new films, and I just kind of stick to the ones that I like, that I know I like, and rewatch them. And I like doing that, but I also feel like it's kind of a waste of time because I already know what's going to happen. So I want to branch out, watch some new movies, especially for the fall, you know, some cozy vibes. It's fine to rewatch movies, so I'm going to be rewatching some cozy fall movies because that's one of the best parts of fall. So required viewing on my syllabus is 3 movies that are very highly rated and I think I should watch. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Memories of Murder, which is by the same director as Parasite, and I remember someone telling me that people only ever want to watch Parasite, but that director has a lot of good movies. And Casablanca, obviously just a classic, and it's one of those movies where like you just feel dumb if you haven't watched it, like everybody's watched it. And then I have some optional enrichment for this class, which is the cozy fall movies that I just like to rewatch every fall. So Gilmore Girls, obviously just the perfect fall show. Little Women, great movie. Fantastic Mr. Fox, I haven't watched in years, but I know my dad really likes that movie, so I might watch that with him. And When Harry Met Sally, I just love seeing like all the fall leaves in New York, and it's just so cozy. So that is Film 229. Next we have Media 313, which is intermediate filming and editing. This is probably the course I'm most excited about for the fall because it is aimed at a directive that I have for myself just to get better at videography, just develop my skills in it. And I would love to have a new camera, but that is not in the budget currently. So I'm going to just try and optimize what I can do with my camera right now, which is the Canon EOS M200, and just try to learn how to film more cinematically, film my life, film more vlogs, and then just optimize what I can do with my camera, like I said. Because I feel like if you have any sort of digital camera, you can do more with it than go on auto mode, which is what I'm doing right now. And even though I would love to have a new camera, if I learn how to optimize this camera, that means I'll be able to use a new camera whenever I get it to the best of its ability as well. So required materials for this class, I just have a lot of YouTube videos because I feel like that is a way I like to get better at videography, and just watch like YouTube videos of how people like to film, how people like to edit, and I feel like that really helps me. So I have just YouTube videos that have been on my watch later list for a while. First, I have this video called 7 Tips to Document Your Life Like a Movie, and I feel like that will really help me with the cinematic filming that I want to do. I'll have all these linked in the description as well. And then there's this other video called My Simple iPhone Setup for Cinematic Videos. That is another thing where I'm like, instead of getting a new camera that's going to be like $1,000, maybe I should just get a new phone, because I have an iPhone 11 right now, which is okay, but I know like the new iPhones, they can do like really good 4K video and they can shoot in log, so I might consider just investing in a new iPhone. But I do think that it would be cool just to be able to film cinematically on your iPhone, because you always have that in your pocket. And then I have Turn Your Travel Vlogs into a Movie Beginner Friendly, which is great because I am basically a beginner. I'm a novice, if you will. There's this video called How to Film Yourself and Look Cinematic, and I've seen this girl's videos before, and I really like her style of videos, so I'm very excited for that. Also, for required materials, I just have Adobe Premiere Pro, which is the editing software I use, and my camera. So those are all the things that I'm going to be using. Optional enrichment, I wrote Learn How to Color Grade. I would love to know how to color grade better. I know kind of the principles behind it already, I feel like that's kind of the thing that would take my videos to the next level. I just don't want to commit to doing that this fall because I don't know like what my schedule will look like, if I'll have time. I'm starting with a walk and then working up to a run, if you will. And then next we have English 374, Writing for Beginners. So this whole summer, I've kind of been feeling this draw to develop my writing skills. When I was younger, I used to love to write short stories. Younger, I mean like 3rd grade through 6th grade, I would say. And I feel like I wasn't that bad. Like, I would read a lot, and so whatever books I was reading would kind of work its way into my writing style. And they weren't bad by any means. Like, I've reread them and been like, okay, that kind of eats. But now I'm really bad at writing. Or not bad at writing, but I feel like the last thing I did that was creative writing was co-writing the script for my short film. And that was super fun, great experience, and was kind of what made me want to start writing more. So I have a couple of required materials and assignments, and then optional enrichment for this purpose. So required materials, I've already been doing the artist way for a little bit. I get kind of like frustrated with it because it is just a little bit long-winded for my taste and has a lot of just personal anecdotes in it. But I do feel like the exercises at the end of the chapter that are kind of to get your creative juices flowing, I think that they're really good. I think I'm on like chapter 3 right now out of 12, so I just want to continue doing that because it is just like making me put pen to paper, bare minimum. Assignments for this class, I'm going to continue to do morning pages, which is part of the artist's way, where you write 3 pages each morning without stopping. And that's kind of like the core fundamental thing behind the artist's way. I do feel like it's been helping me. Like I said before, just put pen to paper, one of the first things in the morning. And I do feel like I'm getting good ideas through that because it's kind of just helping me with the ideation generation process. So I'm going to be continuing that. And then another assignment for this class is going to be writing a scene for a screenplay or story. And I was inspired to do this because when you're just lying awake at night and then you start like doing scenarios in your head, or like, I don't know, just thinking about like different situations from your past. I feel like this is kind of universal. I was thinking like, why don't I just make those into like scenes from a screenplay, or kind of try and write a story behind them. So I think that could be a fun little activity, and that could help me strengthen my writing skills. So we'll see how that goes. And then optional enrichment for this class, I've heard like in Haley Pham's videos, since she's been writing a book, she said On Writing, I think it's called, by Stephen King, is really good. And so I'm going to maybe read that. We'll see if I can fit that into my packed TBR list, but we'll see how it is. And then my final course in the semester is going to be Phys 409 Fitness Goals. The course aims behind this class is to just keep on my fitness grind, finish out the year strong. This whole summer, I've been working out pretty consistently. I've taken a few weeks off, I've taken days off here and there, but I have been pretty consistent, which I am proud of myself for, and I just want to keep up with it. So my go-to routine right now has been doing like the 12-3-30 treadmill routine, which you've probably heard is just 12 incline at 3 speed for 30 minutes. And it was super hard for me at first, and I would go on like 6 incline. I think it's because I'm short, so it's just hard. But I'm finally pretty good at it. So also doing that for 30 minutes and then doing some weightlifting, I've heard is good because then you get into like the zone 2. I know nothing about this stuff, so don't take my advice, but I think it is like a good workout to kind of like activate your muscles, and then if you do weightlifting, it's more effective. Don't quote me on that. And then if it's a day that I'm not working out, I just want to have intentional movement for at least 30 minutes a day, because it's always just good to stay active. For optional enrichment, I wrote try running ? Here's the thing. Are we all just like lying about how running is fun? Or I don't know, like I've only ever, this is really embarrassing and very incriminating, but I've only ever been able to run like 1 or 2 miles at a time, literally at like a 15-minute pace. So I know there's probably something I'm doing wrong. I just like get bored in the middle of running and then I'm like, let's not do this anymore, and then I just walk. So I feel like I should be able to do more than that, and it's just like honestly embarrassing at this point. So that is a goal. I don't know how far in the future that I want to target is just running and being better at running. I recently was inspired by Haley Pham's video where she runs a half marathon, and she kind of talks about like you just need to run slower and run at a pace that you could hold a conversation at. So I kind of want to just try that. I feel like if I enjoyed running, that would be so nice, because that would just be like something I could do no matter where I am, and just listen to music, listen to an audiobook, but it's just never been something that I enjoy. So we'll see if I am going to go on any runs anytime soon. But I feel like runs in the fall, kind of a vibe, so we'll see. And if you have any running advice, comment it below. That's it for my fall curriculum, and I'm very excited to get started. So I maybe will make some videos updating on how these classes are going, and this is just a fun activity to do if you have goals you want to do in your future, to kind of structure it like a class, you know, because learning is fun. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time on this channel.